Welcome back, everybody, to the LCS, where Team Liquid has taken the win over CLG. We heard it straight from Santorin himself. Felt a little better, felt a little cleaner. Obviously, still a couple things that they could clean up. But I want to dive straight into the draft, Mark, where you got what you wanted. You got that Ahri in the mid lane.
Everything I wanted this game. Got the Ahri combined with the Viego. It's a lot of mid-game playmaking, or excuse me, mid-lane playmaking. We also got some flexibility with the Shen coming in early, which baited, I think, the Aatrox pick before they swapped it out of there. Like, I think TL did a lot of really clever things in draft and exactly what we were calling for with a easier strength of schedule heading down the stretch.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was going to be a Shen top lane. Like, me and Emily were having a discussion around it where she was like, oh yeah, likely support. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to happen. But the draft made so much sense. I know there's always the fear of trying to pick for split push if you are going up against a Twisted Fate. But for this one, the fact that Shen can always be there and will be there to follow up, and of course, like the Ahri who's going to be there with TP or is going to have move, I think they reacted to it perfectly.
Well, and this is where I'm going to come over to you, Emily, because as you've had that discussion with Raz, and the Shen ultimately did end up going into the support position, we ended up with an Aatrox Tryndamere top lane matchup of all things.
Yeah, and I mean, I think after a few early plays, once TL got ahead, you could see the Tryndamere just completely bulldoze. The other surprising thing as we get into game highlights is we were talking about how, like, oh, Shen, Zeri, maybe not the most powerful 2v2, like, right early on. No, because Core JJ was just, like, got that double taunt super early, and it actually completely ruined what CLG wanted to do with this bot side of the map, ganking around that pushing Lucian lane.
For sure, I think they wanted to play through Lucian Rakan with the TF going down there, but they lost control early, and even though they made some clever plays, like here, this is just Hansama. You heard Azale talking about being able to throw the W on in there and check it. You can also just play the far side of the lane in position so they can't hop on you.
Yeah.
There were a lot of like little mistakes like that, but TL ran away with this game. And this all in by Whippo, popping off with the Kraken Slayer. Raz was looking for it.
I was about to talk about it. Like, there are a few instances where I just think that Kraken Slayer is a good pick. I know based off the playstyle, being able to have the extra gap closer makes sense for kill force. It's a staple, but especially in this game where there is going to be an armor stacker in Aatrox and Hecarim and all that, great pickup. And of course, Shen coming in just to help out so he lives out on that one. It felt so demoralizing for CLG making plays this game.
I like to see that come through just because you were telling me about it last week, Raz.
I think the big other thing is that even when they were able to get plays like that bot side play like they saw, we saw earlier from CLG, they were never able to play around that lane. I believe TL got every single neutral objective in this game. And you see that slow, steady snowball there. So it means that the lane they wanted to play around didn't work, even when they were able to make plays there. Shen was able to match any playmaking that they wanted to do with the Twisted Fate, and TL just kind of rolled.
Yeah, and you hear from the players on this one, Santorin in the interview talking about the flexibility of the team. And I was, even in the game, how they play the game is flexible. Like, I would imagine they wanted to play through top lane, but if Core JJ is going to get a double taunt and chunk for free, suddenly it's like, okay, Santorin's going to now contest for bot side camps with bot push. Suddenly you can just carry through your bot lane if they're able to get that thorough advantage. And so change it instantly off of just an advantage like that.
And people stepping up at different points too. When everyone's good, they can all make a play. So the Baron that they got was Bjergsen landing that charm after there was a pickoff initially. And so everyone having the opportunity to call their own number was, I think, a huge part of this game, while still being scrappy, feeling handily in TL's pocket.
That's what I was going to say, because, again, referencing the interview with Santorin, where he literally said, you know, it feels good to be on a team where anybody can play for the team and anyone can be the playmaker. So much so that it feels like even, yes, the support can be the reason that you win the game. And Core JJ, no surprise, gets player of the game this time.
I think there's like one missing in the support or the assist column there. I think you have more
one
than
and
3.
13.
Yeah, I think it was 13 assists total.
Either they're both funny. They're both impressive KDAs. It's either a 4 or a 14. It doesn't matter. It's still
magnitude of 3 higher.
Either way, TL looking good in their rebound after taking the loss to Cloud9 just last week. We are going to shift gears though to our next game, which involves Cloud9. Now, Cloud9 may have handily beaten Team Liquid last week, but they haven't forgotten their close call against TSM. Take a look.
Did not beat TSM convincingly last time. We should have lost to TSM last time. And I stole the Baron, I don't know if you remember, and then, yeah, there was an Elder fight where Summit flanked them, and that was a very close game. But I think this time the game will be a lot cleaner.
They almost lost. He should have lost to TSM. He even goes so far as to say.
I love when we interview players and you can tell that the play is just like going through their minds. Yeah, like he's just like, oh man, what happens if I don't steal that Baron?
I like the way you say, like, oh yeah, I don't know if you remember.
I don't know if you saw that.
Stole the Baron. Like, we were screwed.
Kind of a big play.
I kind of saved the game. Not a big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. A couple of notes right off the top. We talked about this earlier in the show, but we'll re-hit it again real briefly here. TSM announced on their Twitter yesterday with a statement that Peter Zhang has been terminated. TSM is going to conduct an investigation. And as well, they will be playing from home today. Cloud9 in studio, TSM playing remote. That does mean we have to build a small competitive integrity
delay.
Thank you for the word. Gotcha. Nice alley-oop there, my friend, which means we have a couple more minutes to talk about it. But in a matchup that, again, I've already talked about or teased as being the most lopsided of the day, it is intriguing to me that Cloud9 should have lost the last time around, given that it's a different team now.
There's a lot of caveats.
So many caveats.
So, yeah, I think there are a couple of things that happened. That was right after they themselves had a massive coaching change. Playing a really specific Karthus composition that TSM dove over and over again when they were still playing roaming support from the top lane. So there was like a very lopsided kind of, pushing into bot lane until C9's composition actually had, really, really strong scaling in that game as well, and I think would have outscaled TSM regardless. But yeah, that's where the should have lost is coming from.
Yeah, and also that was just during a time where TSM had that like breath of fresh air. They just got Yursan in, the team fights were getting better, and then more noise and drama came up.
Well, they maybe should have lost to TSM, but they didn't. And I sure as hell tell you what they did do, Mark, and that's beat Team Liquid just last week.
Yeah, they kind of slapped them down in this game. They had a scaling comp again here, something that should go quite well into the late game with the Jinx Victor, and then they actually started winning Rift Herald fights right out the gate. They played this game a lot better, and I think it's really interesting to talk about the kinds of mistakes that the top teams are making. TL has, even as Santorin was saying in his post-game interview, thrown games at points, whereas the mistakes that C9 make are usually much more individual. Someone gets picked off, someone goes for a play and they die. Yeah. But it usually doesn't cause tempo loss or objective loss, really, and I think that's why C9 has looked so dominant and clean recently.
Yeah, and their players are just insane. Yeah. Mostly, like, Summit has been just an incredible addition to the team. Obviously, we talk about his week-to-week, the fact that he was able to get second player of the week already in his first split, and in a composition going up against Team Liquid that was meant to put him down. And the fact that he was able to put the team on his back in that game, and then going to the bot lane and talking about how Berserker also just had an incredible Jinx performance. This team, much like when we were talking about Team Liquid, can look through all three lanes confidently in how they win out games.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I'm running through all of the positions in my head right now, and as much as I'd love to see a very close battle between these two teams, I just don't see the winning position for TSM up against the individuals that make up this Cloud9 roster.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Okay, cool. I was, that was like a hopeful, maybe somebody will hit me with, but you're right. Like it's a tough thing. You got Summit right up there against Huni would be somebody that you would look to maybe be able to make things messy, right, at the very least.
And I think that's the thing. When the patch change came through and we got to see Huni Rumble come out versus Graves, and it had a strong laning phase there, I think Huni is performing in lane. I think the problems with TSM are so team-based. And like, oh, how do we get vision without messing up? Because a lot of times Shenyi's going in and dying, or like Spica's going in and dying. I think the problems are out of lane a lot of the times. While in lane, I would look to players like Huni to kind of create those advantages based off of some interesting draft decisions.
The problem is going up against Summit. I think we have a full screen to show how dominant Summit is right now.
He's damn good.
In 2022 summer, or spring, excuse me. He is leading the league in all of these categories for top laners. He is first in kills, damage per minute, gold per minute, how fast it takes to get to 10K, kills and assists. Like, it's just insane.
Keep going.
And then he also has all the ones he's second in. I think that's, I was told, like 15 stats or something that he's first in. Like, he is hands down far and away the most dominant. And when you look at some of the spread of these, like, top lane's a bit of a mess with some of the roaming tops right now, but he's like 24 CSD at 15. It's like insane how dominant he is, not just being first, but the lead he has over second place.
Yeah, and the one that stands out to me is the solo kills. So the fact that he's able to do this a lot of the times and just like, you press tab if you're Fudge, and you're like, oh, my top laner just got a kill on this. I remember actually hearing an interview from Blaber where I think it was with Digon, and he was just talking about the fact he was like, you press tab, you see it, I was like, oh, they're both getting really low. You just hope, just pray that someone comes out on top.
You see the little player icon in the bottom right-hand corner of your mini-map. The health is going like this. You're like, well, the Summit's in a 1v1. I hope this comes out the right way for you.
I know it is.
It's gonna, and it does.
Yeah.
And so the question that everybody always has is like, oh, how deep does this champion pool go? He went to the Tryndamere, which he hasn't played too much, and he just destroyed. And I think that he can play a lot. It's just on teams to force him to play a lot. So I think that while we get closer and closer to the end of this split, you're going to be seeing a lot of Gnar and Jace bans, and a challenge to that, because that's going to be the note-taking a lot of teams are going to be doing when we get into a best of 5 and see if it works or not, and if that's the strategy to take down C9.
People start banning Jace and Gnar. That's when, what was it, Freak's Malphite pick from Waiting Room comes
there we
in.
go.
And he's been the one to play that already. So
I don't think he's playing that
you don't think he's going to play that one again? I mean, I'd be happy to see him on skill champs all split long.
No, I feel like that is probably the way to beat Cloud9, though, to be honest. If you're not expected to win, people always talk about, like, make it a volatile game, throw something weird at them, which is, like, kind of what the roaming smite thing was back when TSM was running that. It was like, hey, nothing else is working. Let's take a shot at this. They have done some really all-in early game comps just to try and, like, coin flip early on. And I think that is kind of the right idea against Cloud9, because come mid to late game, like, are you really going to take down Berserker and Fudge and Blaber already? I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, and if they can, again, like, so the win condition for TSM here is Raz already pointed out the Rumble for Huni, which was kind of a pushing lane that they could play around. In bringing in Takeover, I think they've, you know, prioritized him heavily in draft. Now, that is, like, punishable, but also they have made sure that he's on picks he's really comfortable on, like the Ahri, like the Sylas, where he at least has playmaking capacity.
Now, one final little thing to consider, too, right, is, again, just the reality of the position in the standings that TSM is in. 2-11. They're not going to make playoffs, right? And so a lot about what we want to see right here is that slow and steady improvement of individual pieces that are going to give us confidence, you know, moving towards summer, understanding there are likely changes to be made in that organization between now and then. But that's, I think, what we're targeting here in these games.
Essentially players pleading their case, and also just like an identity is what they want. So like if the identity of this team is Spica and Takeover trying to just ram through mid lane and see if they can get the rest of the map working in their favor. So like Ahri, Lee Sin, you know, Rek'Sai, let's see it work.
Teams are ready to go. We're pulling a caster swap. It's Flowers and Kobe taking over. Gents, enjoy.
Welcome back, everybody, and it's time for game number 3 of the day. The desk just got done talking about it. C9 versus TSM, normally a rivalry up in lights, but unfortunately, TSM are struggling to pay the power bill these days.
Yeah, TSM's been looking a lot more like TMZ these days, Flowers, with all the drama coming out. And this is literally first place LCS versus dead last LCS. Scores are actually completely inverted here, 11-2 Cloud9. They are on an 8-game win streak. Cloud9 is the real-life equivalent of Legendary right now. There is a bounty on Cloud9.
And let's not forget that they recently shut down the Fed enemy carry and Team Liquid as well. They're not just on an 8-game win streak because they've been avoiding the tough battles. They have been conquering those battles, and now it's up to TSM to try to stop them. Let's see how it's going to happen. LeBlanc, Sylas, Zaya banned out by C9. Tom Kench, Hecarim, Karma banned out by TSM. Very fast first lock here on the Kai'Sa. The AP build on this champion is a menace right now.
It certainly is. And we have had the possibilities, of course, in LCK. It originally came up with the mid lane AP Kai'Sa, but predominantly it has been bottom lane, and I think this will go into the hands of Berserker. As far as mid lane, Ahri and Ryze have been two of the most highly prized mid laners because of their ability to make roams and make plays off of even just one item power spike. So TSM locking that one in for Takeover here early on does kind of bode well for TSM. I like this response. Ryze gives you a lot of options for where to go with the team comp. because he's so flexible, can split push as well for you.
And I mean, the desk was talking about throwing weird stuff in there, trying to catch him off guard. Ryze does have a unique ability to catch people off guard and do different things with the Realm Warp, manipulating the position of minions, getting everybody over to Baron really fast. It gives you some more options than you'd otherwise have. Spica gonna be on the Lee Sin. TSM fans want to see this guy on a playmaker. We want to see him being able to carry the game, want to see him try to bring TSM back from the brink that they're at. Let's see how Cloud9 responds.
Yeah, bring him back from the graveyard. Let's see it. Spica on Lee Sin. What is Cloud9's response going to be? Should be support plus possible jungle here for Blaber. Very, very strong. His Volibear. Okay, whenever I see this champ locked in, I caution against the late game because it's such an early game oriented champion.
Yeah.
I did that last time. Blaber locked it in for Cloud9 and he was
like
racking
6
up
and 0 and
he
12?
was racking up all these kills. I was like, oh, if he dies, he'll give over a lot of gold. He just never died. So I have full confidence in every Blaber game for him to play Volibear. He is so good at influencing the lanes early on, and you can beat down Lee Sin. All you have to do is mirror the jungle route. Volibear, extremely powerful in the hand-to-hand combat. So Lee Sin has to get way more tricky with the plays early on. Uses mobility, uses brain power to try and get around the bear.
Well, talking about mobility, it's a Zeri lock-in for the side of TSM, but I'm not sure how confident I am in this, considering they're up against 2 different point-and-click hard CCs, the Nautilus ulti, the Volibear done. Both of these can be applied to Zeri, whether she's running 9,000 miles an hour or not. So we're going to need to see good positioning and decision-making from Tactical.
And I think TSM, right now they're concerned with mid lane bans because no mid lane lock-in from Cloud9, but Fudge has actually played so many different mid lane champions despite role swapping over to mid lane so recently. So taking out 2 of the main kind of meta mid laners here. We did mention the Ahri still available. That's a good pick into Ryze. Even something like Veigar is decently good into shorter range stuff. Can be picked as well. But honestly, I would be more worried about from TSM side, more all this hard engage, because if you're trying to play split later, if you send Ryze down to side lane, and you have Kai'Sa plus any other thing that has long range or has CC to set up, it's very easy for Cloud9 to pick off your spread members. The new Kai'Sa build, especially the AP build, lets you sit back very safely throughout poke until you get someone low, and then team engages and you just clean up all the scraps.
Yup, we got a Sett locked in for TSM. Remember, this could be flexed between the 2 remaining positions. Could go support, could go top. The response over on Cloud9, how does Summit want to approach this? Because he could be against the Sett, or again, it could be something else. Do we get the Gnar? Yes, we do.
There's 2 things we definitely know. Summit has a pretty high priority on both Gnar and Jace, and Gnar is very blind pickable, so that's always going to be my guess for Summit's blind pick if it's not banned out. Ooh, and we might actually get the Veigar for the team that one of their coaches is literally named Veigar V2.
Well,
so
hey.
This is a match made in heaven. Nice. They do lock it in here.
And it feels so strong against the champions we're seeing so far, because you already mentioned the short range. It's so hard to play around that cage without the range to get it done. And when I'm looking at all the picks so far, they don't have that range.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Zeri is an interesting one, because if you're chasing Zeri, then because her Q is a skill shot, you know, the range is kind of hard to deal with. It is pretty long. But if she is chasing you and on the offensive, then it feels a lot easier, much more manageable. Cage will definitely stop her from jumping through any sorts of walls, though. And CC is the best death sentence. We get
Huni Rumble!
Huni Rumble, baby. All right, TSM are digging deep here. They put Spica on Lee Sin, and they put Huni on Rumble. These are 2 very, very comfortable champions for these players. So in a time where TSM are anything but comfortable, they are going for some comfort here in Champ Select, at least for some of their known players.
right, Kobe, so let me ask you this, because one thing that I'm seeing when I look at TSM's composition, there's not a lot of ways to engage, right? You've got a Rumble up there in top, you got Ryze in mid, Sett's in bottom. Yeah, he can try to set something up. Lee Sin's able to knock one person in with a kick, but you don't have the same sort of engage as something like a Nautilus or a big Gnar jumping in for a massive AoE ulti, right? So what's the plan here for TSM to try to fight back against this Cloud9 squad that's been dismantling everybody?
Honestly, the plan might be every man for himself. I mean, you're referring to not too much CC on this team. There's not a lot of structure to the TSM composition. There also hasn't been a lot of structure to TSM. So let's see what they can do about it. It's been honestly just such a crazy year for this organization that has such a rich history in North American League of Legends.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would give them the exact same advice that you would give anyone in these situations: is focus on the game.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do. Focus on the game here for TSM. It would be a huge upset if they could pull a win off of Cloud9. Currently, 8-game win streak for Cloud9, #1 team in the LCS. If TSM could do that, blue shell from the bottom of the standing, that would give them a lot of confidence. That would be so big for these players.
I mean, hey, if we're going with kart racer rules, you get the best power-ups when you're in last place, right? That's where you get all of your most unleashed powers, so let's see if TSM can do it. Huni on the Rumble up here on the top side, rocking the Ignite versus Summit having the teleport. Huni's extra kill pressure here might end up being able to make the difference, but of course, man, I just find it so impossible to bet against Summit in the top lane. His performances have been incredible to watch. He's a super fun player. Down here on bottom, Winsome and Berserker try to trade a little bit, but Tactical and Shenyi are able to answer. Not really a whole lot to speak of here at level 2. I hope we get to see some more violence. We got 2 melee supports with CC, so I hope they get scrappy in the 2v2.
And I'm going to say, if you're looking for violence, you have to go further than top lane for Summit, because Summit is all about violence. Even when he's blind picking Gnar. And this is into Huni's Rumble, you know, one of the champions that he is still extremely comfortable on, has a very long legacy of dominating players on and of playing very aggressively. Plus, Rumble pretty much has to push in almost all Rumble matches because of the nature of Flame Spitter. So that is going to be the top side pushing for TSM. You know, fortunate for Huni and for them, though, Blaber is clearing top to bottom to go try and put some extra safety behind the Kai'Sa Nautilus, because you know how well that lane scales. You know how much power is in that, especially with how well Berserker has been playing for Cloud9. Does make a lot of sense here for him to go down to the bottom side of the map. Takeover intelligently hovering to the top side where his jungler is, and it should be, you know, no fireworks early on, just split the crabs for each jungler.
Yeah, and I like Takeover being there because the ward that the observers showed us near that chicken pit means that TSM was aware that Blaber was going top to bot. They're aware that he could be hanging around mid.
Good.
And
Looks
now
good.
TSM is making a move on to Summit. The wave crashes into the turret. Huni's going to go in first. It looks like a teleport's already coming in, and that teleport will scare away the TSM play.
This is actually very detrimental to the Veigar lane. He did not get his recall off to go purchase before teleporting. So teleports Summoner down, then goes for the recall, and is going to have to walk back to lane. Meanwhile, Takeover on Ryze gets the choice. Because mid lane is dead even in the middle of the lane, he can walk back and have teleport advantage, or teleport for the tempo play here and try and shove the wave in. Because he's a little bit delayed off of the play, though, Veigar's going to get here in time to soak up the minions. So evened up here on the teleports, not going to have any kind of lasting effect on your CS gains, and Veigar can try and get back to hitting some of these extra AP hits here for the last hits.
Yeah, identical purchases as our mid laners go back to shop as well. It's the tier and the level 1 boot for both.
I will say for Fudge here on the Veigar, I mean, you do have Predator, so, you know, you can try and get out 2 side lane plays, but Ryze should be getting the push early. Top side, though, they're going for the gank.
Summit has to get back away. The Ignite from Huni threatening the kill. Huni knows there's no way out, so he tries to take one with them, but it's first blood for the bear.
Really good roam timer linking up here. Winsome for Cloud9 roams on the Nautilus up to top side with Blaber. Very good timing here, punishing Huni. Huni trying to get that kill, ignites Summit, and he does get the flash out because of how close it got, but Well done there by Summit. Let's see if the flashless Gnar is punishable though, because they've actually rotated. Ryze rotating up to the top side to catch these minions, as he had already pushed out on bottom side, and Ryze with flash definitely can set up possible ganks and possible plays as well.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you talked about it a little in Champion Select, like the one-item power spike for Ryze and Ahri and champions like this that build Everfrost. It really makes that setup so easy when he makes those roams wherever he makes them too. You guarantee your own CC chain, you guarantee the combo, guarantee the setup. Back here in mid, Huni's going to get this wave shoved up. Fudge will just continue trying to stack that AP. I always like playing the how many blasting wands is Veigar's passive worth now game throughout this one, so we'll have to check back in on that once he gets time to farm up a little bit more. But now once more, it's TSM looking for the top lane. There's no teleport this time. Takeover brings in the minion wave, but Huni's already underneath the turret taking the aggro from that. Summit tries to get away, but there's no escape in this one, and TSM is on the board.
And that is the punishment of the flash that we were talking about in the play earlier for Cloud9. It's a good job. You know, they send 3 people and they actually get their kill, but what did it cost? It cost the flash off Summit. So TSM, they're going to have Huni's back, and they make Summit pay that price. Killing him there also denies a decent amount of minions as the minion wave was pushed up, and allows a tower plate to the side there of Huni, of TSM. So Huni's Rumble is going to be as scary as the legends say, Flowers. 2 stacks on the Darksteel. Good CS lead for himself up on top side. Had to invest his flash this time around because he was the one tanking tower aggro and didn't want to give a kill back. But when you bring a Rumble to early game fights, like, you know, second Dragon maybe here 4 minutes into the future, it still has such a big impact, or can, for those team fights. If you can do things like, hey, have Sett get an engage and clap them together on it. Something to hold them on that Rumble ultimate. Ryze, Rune Prison as well, to help out with that CC.
And hey, if you're a TSM fan, you want to see this continue. Keep investing in Huni. Keep getting this Rumble more and more powerful. Make it so when that mid game comes around and he hits that traditional spike, it's as strong as ever.
And this kind of makes sense for TSM. People are wondering, when are they just going to try and, you know, invest all into the player comfort that they have? You know, you've drafted Huni to this team, so give Spica what he wants to Lee Sin, give Huni his Rumble. See if they actually make the pick here.
Oh, Spica's looking for Fudge, but the damage comes out the other way, and Veigar gets paid. Fudge picks up 1, Winsome picks up another, 2-0, C9.
The counter here from Cloud9. You may have the brush positioning advantage, but Cloud9 have the stun. Oh my goodness, early kill here for the Veigar. And remember, you know, top side actually dive.
Okay, Huni's gonna be taken low, and the turret gets turned off. Volibear's secret skill is very useful for dives, my friend.
All right, what about the possible recourse here for TSM? Because they've just taken a beating. This is 2 lost plays on the top side of the map. And once again, Blaber, Volibear, richest person in the game. Really, really big stuff here on the top side of the map for Cloud9. Another good use of roam timers from them. Very, very efficient and getting paid so quickly.
Well, the response from TSM is saying, hey, the enemy jungler has no ulti. They just tried to make a play up here. They're going for the Rift Herald now, but let's take a look at the replay of what looked like might have been a kill onto Fudge, but then wasn't.
Exactly. So they get the Rune Prison, but they can't back it up with damage here. The cage goes down to section them off. Shenyi up into the top river sees the bear coming down from the other side, and I mean, they had vision of Winsome clearing the ward on Nautilus as well, because he swept in, he was auto-attacking it. So they knew this was a support roam timer as well for the side of Cloud9, and they still try and pull off the surprise fight here, but huge punishment there from Cloud9, from Fudge. When the Dark Matter lands also, you're going to have plenty of damage to get that turnaround.
Yeah, you're going to be feeling okay about that one. TSM did get the Rift Herald while we were watching the replay, so Spica's going to have that one here. Still has most of the timer left on it, about 3 minutes available for wherever he wants to use it. I know a lot of times we like to see them use this mid lane to try to open that up, especially against something like Veigar that's happy to just sit in lane and farm it, maybe make it a little bit more dangerous to farm or whatever, but obviously we want to see them get some sort of high value enemies.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're running Ryze, who's going to want to try and roam around the map as well. Mid is always great to get an advantage there, but honestly, I just prioritize wherever you can make a play. If you can get a numbers advantage, or if you can make a pick, that's where you want to use Rift Trail because that's where you can get more than just the 2 plates.
Down here in bot lane, Berserker's just going to keep on farming it up. Blaber's hanging around, waiting in the tri-brush. He's got a control ward, so he knows he's not seen down here. Tactical continues pushing up. Berserker's trying to play around this wall to convince Tactical to just come a little bit closer. Winsome making his way back down into bottom lane now too, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a play. Tactical knows something could be going on here. He has no help nearby. His support is up in the other side of the map, so he backs away. But now, can that support make the move? Summit's going to go down here to ward in the river, it looks like, but Shenyi and Spica already waiting on him, so Summit doesn't even need to drop that. Instead, just going to walk all the way back.
And I think it's a good idea here from TSM. You can tell they want to make another pick onto Summit and use that Rift Trail to try and take down as much as they can. They threaten the roam from mid lane as well, but since it gets sussed out here by Blaber, again, Cloud9 defense is paying off.
Shenyi now stuck inside the cage. Blaber goes in and they're going to target the Sett here at the very start. Haymaker comes down, buying a little bit more time. Huni's equalizer flies out now too, and it's TSM turning it back around. Blaber's going to be the focus, and he'll die first. Cloud9 looking for their counterattack now. Shenyi's trying to get away, and Huni's looking to maximize his DPS. He tries to flash back out, but Summit is still in hot pursuit. He'll keep the chase going, lands the Q. I don't even know if it's a boulder, a rock, a house, whatever, but he's got it in Huni's head, and he's got the kill. 1 for 1.
Again here, the invade attempt from TSM, really trying to play off topside as much as they can. Their efforts at trying to keep Summit behind, though, are not working out. Summit's going to get paid either way, and he's actually the one who gets this last hit for the kill, so look like it's going to get pretty difficult for TSM. You know, once Summit does get to the hull breaker and really starts to push through on the split pushing here for Cloud9, it closes out a lot of these options for TSM. So as you were mentioning earlier with their team comp, it's going to be difficult to play.
Well, we have our second Drake live. You mentioned earlier, hey, what if we bring a strong Rumble down to a team fight here for the Drake? I'm curious if TSM's going to make a move for this one. They do have the bottom wave shoved up. The Rift Herald has been summoned. A lot of damage is about to go into this turret. They may just be able to claim it, but Cloud9 wants to respond in time to keep their objective alive. Rift Herald down to 300 HP. Winsome's going to get caught. Dredge line out. Keeps himself safe with a little bit of Spider-Man maneuvers there. As the turret continues to take some damage, Berserker and Winsome will keep this one alive, but ever so barely. Blaber's back, farming up the Krugs. He'll get back his HP on that one. TSM with control over the bottom side river, over the bot lane, and they should get this Infernal Drake here. Doesn't look like Cloud9 is going to respond in time.
Pretty good stuff here for TSM, especially if Tactical can just knock this turret over. They get the turret down. So that's first turret bonus awarded to TSM and getting the Dragon. As soon as they switch their focus down to this bottom side of the map, a lot better results here for TSM. And this also is going to open up Tactical some freedom of movement here. Zeri, if you go the Trinity Force build, is such a strong one-item power spike, whereas Kai'Sa, because you have to get so many pieces, because you're looking for your evolutions and you're trying to also build up Muramana, it takes a bit longer to scale. Does scale into a monster, especially when you get all the components for your build starting to come together, and especially once you start getting the AP as well. But Tactical here on Trinity Force Berserker Greaves Spike actually looks good for TSM, Flowers.
And this is one thing that we need to see from Tactical is consistency. I feel like Tactical has had some pretty high highs and some pretty low lows so far here in Spring 2022. So if he's in a spot where he's able to be one of these power points, able to be one of these cornerstones for this mid-game of TSM, Tactical's got to show up, Tactical's got to perform.
All right, let's see if they can do it. Rift Trail number 2 is going to spawn onto the Rift shortly. They rotate Tactical up to the long lane here up on top side. They say, hey, you're on Trinity Force Spike. How about you try your hand at handling Summit here? He is about to transform, but Shenyi is going to get, or attempt to get, some extra vision here towards the top side. Meanwhile, you see another double roam here. Winsome linking up with Blaber. This has been the consistent play from Cloud9. So Winsome comes to match here the Shenyi roam, and they will defend the extra wards that they do have here around Summit.
Spica's going to pick up his red at the same time. There's not really anything to fight for on the bottom half of the map, so everybody's hanging out top side. Shenyi first clearing out the ward in the tri-brush, now going to clear out the ward in the river brush. Cloud9 knows TSM is looking up here.
Yeah, and so if you're looking at it from TSM's side, they've got the tower on bottom side down. So you push out this bottom side and then come to Rift Road number 2. this is the site of the next big fight here. And you've got Huni Rumble. He's only level 10. He would love to be able to squeeze out some experience for rank 2 in the ultimate, but he's got to get here now.
Yep, that's the thing. He took the Ignite for the laning phase, but it means TP is never going to be an option this time around. Rift Herald's at half HP. Cage goes out. Spica's going to eat a lot of damage there on that one. Winsome decides to go in, drops the ulti down into Huni. TSM disengaging now. Half HP on their jungler, half HP on their support means they do not want this fight. So second Rift Herald goes over to Cloud9. No deaths.
Cage so good here. You can just fish around with the Cage, poke a little bit on the front line of TSM. If you soften up this front line a little bit, then Cloud9 just get the objective themselves. And since TSM then all rotate towards mid, that top tower is dead, Flowers. Summit can finish this one off, no problem.
I think Shelly might just do it instead. Second Rift Herald has a lot of power. Nope, not quite enough. I thought it might round up, but not today. Looks like Summit's going to keep on shoving this farther forward. They would love to be able to get a second charge here onto the tier 2 turret. Shenyi shows up, hopefully, to help them stop this, and it looks like, nope, we're preparing to charge. Do we get it? No, okay, they will stop that one in time. Meanwhile, Fudge gonna face check the brush. Spica's there, he's waiting. He flashes over the Cage to get the kickback the other direction, and now Blaber's here for the 2v2, but it won't be a 2v2 for long. Fudge is about to die, and Spica jumps in for the kill. Nearly dies himself, but close don't matter. TSM get 1-for-0 in the bottom lane.
And they're trying to make plays on both sides of the map here too. Summit can defend himself though, 2v1. No problem for him. The threat really not here for TSM quite yet, but that was a big pick for them on the bottom side of the map. That was also the flash from both Blaber and Fudge. So super, super positive play there for TSM on the bottom side of the map. They bring this game once again a bit closer back into reach for themselves.
And honestly, 17 minutes into the game for 11-2 first versus 2-11 last, this is a damn close game.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually looking quite good for TSM. Being able to push on the side lanes is going to be ideal for them, especially since now Fudge won't have a flash. But nice job there. You know, Spica jumps to the outside for the kick, even though that Rumble ultimate is purely cosmetic in this case.
It's scary looking.
Yeah, they do have no flash on Veigar now, so now you can really punish him with ultimates. And look at the cooldown on that thing there for Huni. It is rank 2 now, level 11 has come in. He's got his Riftmaker upgrade, so TSM feeling pretty confident about it. And again, maybe another attempt at a side lane play here. Fudge is all the way on top side for Cloud9, so TSM overloading this bottom side of the map. Does Summit get out of this one?
Is a massive collapse from multiple players on TSM. Gnar into the wall. Summit's trying to stand and fight, get something back here, but not even Summit's going to find something in that.
And that's going to be Dragon for TSM. Flowers, this is 2-11, last place TSM. Just throwing blows at Cloud9, consistently picking them off in this bottom lane. And this one has even bigger rewards. Dragon number 2 will also go the way of TSM. Now, the trade that you do have to mention is topside was unattended by TSM. So Veigar got that line of minions all the way into the tower, and those will kind of die into the tower until Takeover goes up to get the rest of them. And so you get what, a little bit more AP on Veigar, kind of measly pushing out some minions. TSM gladly will take that, though. They got so much more gold off bottom side, plus the Dragon.
And I'm loving the coordination that we're getting to see from TSM here. This is kind of the thing that I've been so concerned with for this team out of a multitude of things to be concerned with is it just seems like a lot of times they're not on the same page, like everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but the plan is coherent so far in the first 19 minutes of the game or so, but now we got to see how it's going to look when we get to more big fights, when we get to more of these moments that could have more serious consequences as Baron is only a minute away. Cloud9 clearing out some TSM wards because they know that TSM's been invading this top side of the jungle. They'll pick up the blue, give that one over to Fudge. He'll continue farming. Observers, if we could get a look at the Veigar stack since we're getting close to 20 minutes, I would like to see 192, almost 5 blasting wands worth of AP, my friend.
I do also want to shout out Fudge for great skin choice due to St. Patrick's Day being so recent. So shout out to him as well. See if he can actually bring this Veigar mid game to.
He's got the luck
to find some picks here because yeah, Predator is available. His flash is coming off cooldown decently soon, but those CC chains can be devastating if they catch a member of TSM out. It's just that TSM right now have been actually facilitating their side lanes so well. Cloud9 have been the ones on the receiving end.
And despite the fact that this game is very close, I still look at this as a lot of pressure on TSM to make things happen in the next 5 to 10 minutes, because you have the Zeri that's on the power spike versus Kai'Sa with a bougie garage sale, and you have Huni's Rumble. Let's use it. Let's find that mid game. TSM looking for Blaber there, but he can use the ulti to get away. But I want to keep seeing these attempts. I want to see TSM continue to try to use their power spike now, because as that Kai'Sa becomes a ballistic missile, as Veigar scales up infinitely, the game will become more difficult.
That is surely the case. TSM, with the advantage now, need to press it. Again, that big spike early from Zeri with the Trinity Force, they're able to use it pretty effectively. Controlling mid, trying to push in here now as they rotate down to Takeover, who's been pushing in on the bottom side, and they should be able to take away this red. Blaber's in the area, he has Smite.
Oh, nope, it's gonna get secured by Spica. Nicely done from TSM. They'll get in, they'll get their objective, and they'll get away. Shenyi trying to back, might not be able to escape in time, but it's Winsome. What are you doing out there all on your lonesome, buddy? That's not where you need to be.
Another TSM kill on the bottom side of the map. Winsome walked into the wrong bush, and Cloud9 were just so spread out there, Flowers. You know, it doesn't look like the communication was very clear, because Blaber was moving away down to the bottom side as Winsome goes in to check that brush. So this is not a pinpoint targeted check from Cloud9 trying to push TSM out of their territory. It was two separate sides for C9, not in accordance on if they were going to actually go for that pick or not, and they get punished. Now, are they going to get punished again?
I don't know, man. It's looking to me like Cloud9's just trying to play some happy League of Legends, but TSM is not here for goofing around. They'll find another one, 6-5.
People have been calling for this, but like Spica, some autonomy here with the Lee Sin. Huni gets his Rumble, and they're actually just getting paid so well. TSM, 2,000 gold lead, 2 Dragon advantage as well. Next one comes up in 1 minute and 15 seconds. Can Cloud9 put a stop to this anytime soon?
C9 is struggling here in this game. You would not expect this to be first versus last based on this game state.
Does feel like we kind of set up a cast of curse with the intro, talking about how legendary Cloud9 are with a bounty on their backs here in the LCS 8-game win streak, and TSM have indeed picked up a blue shell, at least for the beginning of this game. Let's see if they can actually close it out, though.
Exactly.
Because as you mentioned, the Cloud9 scaling definitely will be there for their carries, for the Veigar, for the Kai'Sa, but see if TSM keep pushing. They need to get this topside tower down right now. Don't engage. Let Takeover finish off this topside tower first, but the hook comes in.
Okay, Huni dropping the ulti here. Winsome trying to get away. Spica looking to chase that when Sonic Wave finds Blaber, but Winsome's the only one hurt. Summit's coming in. The Gnar bar is nearly charged. TSM stuck up against the wall, and Winsome goes in. Takeover using the stasis, keeping himself safe enough. Summit jumps in, but the ulti is bad. It will not find him. Takeover with a flash gets himself away. Fudge delivered a little bit of damage there on the back end. We got hurt players on both sides. Winsome's gonna eat a Sonic Wave, but Huni is about to die first. Cloud9 have already found 1 kill here in the fight. They're about to find another. Shenyi's gonna be tanking up here on the front. Summit tries to get away. He's down to 100 HP. And Tactical is going crazy into the back line. He will finally fall, but Cloud9 is disintegrating. TSM just straight up beat him in the 5v5.
And Flowers, that's going to be their dragon. That is sole point for TSM. There's no fans in the audience, but you can hear the chants in your head. TSM looking like they are clawing their way back into the league, and they're starting today.
This is looking so good from a team that has had so few of these good showings. Let's take another look. Roccat flipped the switch replay of how they did it.
So my only criticism for TSM would be that this is a little early, because if they let even 2 more seconds on top side, that Takeover also could have finished off that outer turret first before joining, but then they're able to effectively kite here. Winsome goes for the flash plan to Takeover, and he has a good Zhonya's, and then flash out here. So then, even though Nautilus ultimate does keep him in place, and you get a Dark Matter big chunk on him, they don't get a kill for C9. So they're missing so much frontline here, and Winsome's also chunked down to 50%. So they go for another pick. They instantly kill Huni, but then you have Shenyi, Sett ultimate Nautilus into the back line, and Spica not dying there, doesn't give over any Triumph stacks. Tactical flashes forward to finish off the backline here. He gets the double, also taking out Berserker. So even though he gets stunned up right afterwards, it was a good death, a good flash forward to take down those carries. Just so nice to see him really having such a big resurgence here. And TSM are onto the Baron, Flowers. They want to really complete this.
It's not dropping very quickly, though, but Winsome just might. He's here in the front. He'll tank it up. Now you've got the disengage as Blaber tries to retreat. Winsome's going to get tagged with a Sonic Wave. No resonating strike, though. You can't just jump in 1v5. Kai'Sa missiles doing a little bit of poke, but they don't feel like much of anything. Cloud9 still needs to stop this. TSM working on the Baron, have it down to about half. Spica using stasis. Shenyi ready to Hex Flash over the wall. He's coming around for the angle. He'll look for Summit and bring him right into the middle. He turns into Mega Gnar, but now he's at a position he cannot get an ulti from here. Baron still at 4,000. TSM still going after it. Blaber looking to go into the pit, and Cloud9 are making their move. They're making a play, and Blaber steals away the Baron. Shut down over onto Shenyi as well, and the credits going back over to Berserker. Cloud9 are still trying to get out. TSM cleaning them up here in the fight. Realm Warp goes down. Berserker's about to fall too. TSM, they get a 3-for-1, but they lose the Baron.
It's definitely a kind of a breaker there for TSM to not get the Baron, but because they have such good chase down, these Ryze Realm Warps with the mobility of Zeri, allowing these TSM carries to chase down Cloud9 after the fact, after the Baron has been stolen away. This one is going to be so fun, though, because Cloud9 stealing away this Baron does aid them in trying to delay the game. If TSM had gotten this, they would be able to break it wide open. Here's another look at it. And C9, again, disengage off that Veigar cage. Winsome gets the live, but he's chunked down so low again on the Nautilus. And then they go for the straight flip here. Shenyi is going to Hex Flash over into the backside, and it's kind of dangerous. He actually ults Summit in, who's transforming into Mega Gnar into the rest of the team, but Summit jumps out. He doesn't want to get bursted down. The Veigar cage now also on cooldown, and so they just walk right in. Blaber and Summit at the same time. They say, hey, this is an honorable smite fight. Better jungler gets it, and he slams it with the smite. 500 HP I saw at the very end there. Then they actually disengage over the back wall, but Takeover is pelting them with these pellets the entire time. Chases down 2 kills, and again, another Realm Warp here from Takeover to pick up a third, getting the Kai'Sa kill as well. So TSM, even though they don't get the Baron, they do get the 3 kills afterwards. It's just a question of, will that Baron do enough for Cloud9 to get some more money into this Kai'Sa so you can get that build fully operational? The really annoying poke comes once you do get your W evolve.
I don't know if it's going to do a whole lot, Kobe. We got Winsome on the run as TSM's looking to find even more. Shenyi with the Hex Flash over the wall. Spica still looking for something, but not enough damage, not enough CC, not enough lockdown. All I'm saying is this gold lead looks about like it did back when the Baron went down. So we're not seeing a ton of gold being made up so far for the side of C9. Summit, of course, going to help that effort a little bit, grabbing the tier 2 up there in the top lane, keeping the pressure alive. But as soon as Takeover arrives, he cannot push the wave any further.
People shocked online as well. TSM, and Blaber a little shocked that there's TSM
Blaber,
in that brush.
What are you doing? Why are you shocked that TSM is in that brush? I'm not shocked that TSM is in that brush. TSM's been in these brushes the whole game.
Yeah, and they're playing for Dragon win con here. So TSM playing to their win con. They know they have to be at this Dragon early. So they camp the brush again. They find a bear all by himself. They get the kill on that opponent jungler. Clayton, Cloud9 are going to have to pull something crazy out here. There are 22 seconds left on Blaber, and there's only 16 left on this Dragon, which will be Ocean Soul if TSM can get it.
I don't know, man. It's looking like a soul to me. Summit has joined up with the rest of his team, but again, with no jungler, how are you going to try to fight for the smite?
Another one!
Going to drop. Cloud9, they're going in. They're trying to find anything they can. Support's traded away 1-for-1. Summit just runs it down into TSM. And now they're going to look for even more. Spica's taken low, but Berserker doesn't get the assassination he's looking for, and Fudge doesn't have the follow-up. Tactical chases the enemy mid laner. A Realm Warp's coming in, and Spica and Takeover are looking to do just that and take over this jungle. Sonic Wave, no resonating strike. Spica's very low. The Dragon's going to be secured by Huni. Blaber has no way to get over there. TSM are playing well, and Cloud9 are not. TSM, get that soul.
The whole bottom side of the map has just been disaster for Cloud9 over and over and over again. TSM successful picks on the bottom side. Camping brush, whether it's face checking, where it's picking off the split pushers, TSM getting so much out of this area. Now they've got the Ocean Soul to show for it. Here's another look at it. Winsome, less than 50% HP on the Nautilus there, with the vision on him, tries to flash away. Cloud9 does trade out the support kill here, but then Summit just gets annihilated, walking into 3 as Gnar bursted out of this fight. And you can see at least what Berserker was thinking there. He was like, oh, they're going to get soul unless I quickly kill Spica. You know, he was trying to take out the opponent jungler, but it is, that was too much of a reach there. You know, there's all these TSM members around him, so there's no way you're going to be able to assassinate him. Spica lived, and then they just sent Huni to finish it off since they got the extra kill there, and TSM get everything they want. And now with the regen of Ocean Soul, they can continue pushing.
I mean, so much of this game has looked like Cloud9 overconfidence. Like they're not giving enough respect to their opponents, and TSM have been taking advantage of it. Fudge now gonna get jumped on. He tries to get away for the time being, but they're able to get the kill anyway. Shenyi's gonna be traded back, but you'll take the enemy mid laner for your support any day of the week. Tier 2 turret falls, and TSM disengage.
This has been the craziest year for TSM. So much disaster, and then they meet up in the most unlikely of games. 11-2 Cloud9 versus 2-11 TSM. And this is the one, Flowers, where they start to dominate. This is actual insanity in the LCS.
6,000 gold lead, Dragon Soul, tower advantage. TSM are up in every measurable way, and now we just need to see them close the game. Tactical just purchases the Wit's End. He's got a full inventory. I'm sorry, stopwatch is so broken it might as well be a full item itself. This man is ready to battle.
And it's incredibly effective because, again, the 2 carries here for Cloud9 are AP heavy. So the Wit's End is insanely valuable, just as Berserker hits his 3-item power spike on Kai'Sa, and you start thinking, oh no, the W's are coming through, right? And that poke is really going to leave a mark. Tactical is literally a full item up on him, and that item is a magic resist item.
Oh yeah, that's scary stuff. So we've got the stopwatch on him, Takeover with Azonias, a Guardian Angel, I believe, available for Spica as well. I thought I saw one Guardian Angel there in the scoreboard, but now it's gone. Okay. Spica finds no Q. Sonic Wave was close, but didn't quite hit Winsome. More poke coming out here as TSM are just trying to soften him up a little bit. But again, you said it, Berserker on 3-item power spike, so he's going to be poking constantly whenever he gets the chance.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like Cloud9 committed, for lack of a better word, one of the big sins for themselves is investing a lot in magic resist and in CC that gets reduced by tenacity. So Mercury Treads, the value is insane. We see 3 of them popping up there for TSM, plus the Wit's End item is doing a lot of work. Now there's a sneak from TSM over the back of the Baron Pit, and this one is going to work, Flowers. That thing is as good as gone.
Cloud9 is none the wiser, and TSM gets their Baron. No steal in the cards this time, and C9 has to try to weather the storm now. TSM still have 2 tier 2 turrets that they can take in the mid and bottom lanes. That bottom lane one just barely holding on. A stiff breeze will knock it over. Spica hanging out in the brush, but of course it is warded by C9. He has Guardian Angel, even if he gets caught. There are a lot of avoidance mechanisms here for TSM. Again, stasis available on both of the carries. You've got the Guardian Angel for Spica. TSM does not have to be afraid in making plays, and I want to see this Baron make those plays. 3-man push up here in the top lane. Tier 3 turret, not long for this world, it's already gone. Fudge will try to defend, throw up the cage, block a little bit of extra damage onto the inhibitor there by keeping him away. Inhibitor nearly falls, still barely kept alive. Cannon minion will keep poking towards Cloud9. They want to clear that one out as soon as they can. TSM still should have enough damage to take this one down. There it is, 2 shots from the cannon minions, and inhibitor number 1 of the number 1 team is down. TSM, that is the first step in ending this game. Now let's see if they can do it in one of the other lanes as well. Still 2 minutes to work with here on this Baron. Mid lane tier 2 falls. Equalizer uses to zone Cloud9 away. Give them the opportunity. Put more damage into these objectives. Keep pushing this tempo further ahead. TSM might have to back away here soon. Both those cannon minions gonna die now. Spica running away from Summit.
Whoa.
Summit goes for an ulti, but Tactical with a beautiful stopwatch is not gonna get caught.
Tactical jumping that wall right into Summit, though, into Gnar. Very dangerous. Luckily for him, he did have the stopwatch. That one is used with the Baron buff still on, though. They can push in.
All right, Cloud9, you're gonna have to defend eventually. Health bar's not looking great on Fudge and Blaber, though, and Spica's leading the charge with a Realm Warp about to follow it up. Shenyi goes in for the ultimate, and a nice phase breaker onto 2. Support's gonna get traded away yet again. Spica's low, but the man still ain't dead. Blaber tries to get away, but no, sir! Summit trying to get back into the fountain and heal up. TSM gets a 2-for-1, and they'll take the mid lane inhibitor and bottom lane inhibitor turret for it. Will this be a 3-inhib game now? Yes, it will. Equalizer is already back up here for Huni, and TSM are going for the throat. 20 seconds on Winsome, 30 seconds on Blaber. Summit goes for the ulti, but he don't find anything. Spica goes in, and he finds Summit. He'll get right back out without even losing Guardian Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, where were you when last place TSM dismantled first place Cloud9 and absolutely schooled them? GG, TSM wins.
The organization may be in shambles, Flowers, but the players deliver today. Wow, what a performance here. TSM, they take down our best team, our first place team in the LCS, and in dominant fashion. Cloud9 just looks so out of sorts. The communication, also not tracking opponents' whereabouts, little attention to detail. So many picks here for TSM, especially on the bottom side of the map, setting up for those dragons. Congratulations to the players. You know, it's really rough for them to go through the year that they've gone through and all of the extra stuff they have to deal with because of all the fires that are going on within the organization.
Yeah.
But to focus on the game, come out here, play a good game, and get that win is huge.
Last place doesn't matter for this game. Standings don't matter. Playoffs don't matter. All that matters in the one game is winning that game. And TSM came in with a plan. Again, they enabled those carries, right? Like allowing Huni to play the Rumble. Allowing Spica, be the Lee Sin, go out there, make some plays. And they punished a countless number of silly mistakes from Cloud9. That was an awesome showing from TSM.
It certainly was. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, too, with the recent announcement of firing Peter Zhang, the coach. And then you're just like, all right, it looks like pick what you want.
Just go for it.
And everybody gets their champ that they just want. You know, Tactical from the very beginning was one of the early adopters of the Zeri. Him having a really good Zeri performance. Takeover on the Ryze, subbing into the LCS squad. Multiple Realm Warps to chase down Cloud9 members and allow them to get so much out of these picks is just... I mean, you have to be happy for the players.
And I mean, you said early on, like, yeah, Tactical's got this power spike, Trinity Force, and I said, good, I want to see him perform in this game because I think he's been wildly inconsistent so far this split. When he flashed in that dragon fight, he managed to get 2 kills. Yeah, he died. Doesn't matter, win the fight. At the end, when you were like, oh man, I don't know about jumping that wall into Gnar, he had the timing on the stopwatch. Tactical passed the skill check, and Tactical was a big part of exactly why they were able to win. And with that TSM win, we're going to be able to join LeTigress talking with Takeover after the break in our Verizon post-game interview. See you there. Cloud9's just trying to play some happy League of Legends, but TSM is not here for goofing around. Cloud9 have already found 1 kill here in the fight. They're about to find another. Shenyi's going to be tanking up here on the front. Summit tries to get away. He's down to 100 HP. And Tactical is going crazy into the back line. He will finally fall, but Cloud9 is disintegrating. TSM just straight up beat him in the 5v5.
Going on?
I can't afford streaming anymore, so...
Sure you can. State Farm has rates that fit your budget.
Oh, good. Because some true crime would be nice.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.